right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely fascinating and, frankly, pretty controversial. So, we are neutrally examining his startling premise today. The big question is this: is there actually a legal loophole that allows the president to just unilaterally generate $4 trillion? Starting with Section 1, the $1 trillion loophole. Okay, so the entire gold reset theory basically all hinges on this one concept: an unrealized gain on assets the government already has sitting on its books. Think about it like this. Say you own a house, right? And its market value goes way up, but you haven't sold it yet. That extra value is an unrealized gain. Well, Brian from Hidden Tax applies this everyday financial concept directly to the United States Treasury, and he argues there's a staggering amount of untapped value just sitting completely dormant. Moving on to Section 2, the debt reality check. To really grasp why this loophole would even be considered in the first place, we have to look at the massive problem as Brian frames it. According to him, our national debt is hitting an astonishing $39 trillion this year. $39 trillion. That baseline number is so massive, it instantly sets the stage of urgency for this whole theory. And you know, there's a critical clock ticking in the background here. The government is rapidly running out of time to manage a crushing $1 trillion annual interest bill. Think about that for a second. $1 trillion is required just to service the debt we already have, before a single dime even goes toward actual government operations. So how do we escape this interest trap? Well, Brian argues that it requires taking some really drastic measures. He states that we have to skip what he calls economic theater and find a massive, immediate bailout. In his view, standard policy tweaks just aren't going to cut it when your interest payments alone are this staggering. Which brings us to Section 3, the gold revaluation math. The crucial point here is exactly how we get out of that trap. The U.S. currently holds 261 million troy ounces of gold reserves. This physical asset, literally just sitting in vaults, is the absolute centerpiece of the entire mathematical loophole our source is proposing. And here is where the massive discrepancy comes in. Because of old legacy accounting rules, our government's gold is officially recorded on the books for just $42.22 an ounce. The whole theory relies on a big revaluation, where the government simply updates that official ledger price to current or projected market values. We're talking something like $15,000 an ounce. So let's walk through how the math of this theory actually flows. Step 1. With the stroke of a pen, they revalue the gold to $15,000 an ounce. Step 2. The government claims the massive unrealized gain on those hundreds of millions of ounces. Step 3. This instantly yields $4 trillion for the Treasury, free and clear. The ultimate outcome? The government erases $4 trillion in debt and stalls the interest trap without a single vote from Congress. It's an accounting miracle done entirely on paper. Section 4. The July 2026 reset. Now, the creator doesn't just present this as some fun what-if scenario. He actually ties this math to a looming deadline, and he notes a really surprising detail to back it up. Get this, the actual physical gold bars haven't been fully audited since 1984. Fast forward to today's $39 trillion debt, and he argues that by the country's 250th anniversary in July 2026, this mathematical reset is going to transition from a fringe theory into the logical emergency bailout. Finally, Section 5, the Creator's Action Plan. Having laid out this supposed secret government lever, the source pivots to what everyday people should actually do about it. Just to maintain strict neutrality here, we are simply reporting his conclusion. He advises his viewers not to wait around, stating directly, build your financial fortress by owning real assets they can't print, like physical gold. His specific call to action is pretty straightforward. He says to buy physical gold for your own portfolio precisely because it is an asset that policymakers literally cannot print out of thin air. On top of that, he urges viewers to subscribe to his Hidden Tax platform to position themselves effectively, ensuring they know how to keep the math in their favor before this predicted big revaluation actually hits in 2026. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative question. If the executive branch truly pulls this lever, does changing the official price of 261 million ounces of gold actually fix a $39 trillion systemic problem, or does it just change the math on paper? Is a $4 trillion unrealized gain a brilliant debt-erasing miracle, or is it just a massive mathematical illusion? It is absolutely a fascinating concept to think about. Thanks for diving into this with me today, and as always, keep questioning the numbers.